Look, I'm good at my job, but there's not much I can do if you're not holding up your end of the bargain. They need to see better results, and soon. Understand?
I just won the freaking race, lady! Are you serious? What is up, guys, and welcome to F1 2016 Career Mode once again. Today we have the 67th episode of this Career Mode series. It's mental. We're here for the Russian Grand Prix, and heading into this race, we are well and truly under pressure from the Mercedes team. We are, as it stands, in the red zone of the, the team standing. So, basically for this round, it doesn't matter where we finish, where we qualify, we need to beat the team's objectives, and of course finish ahead of Lewis Hamilton in both qualifying and the race. Because after this round, if we still are in the red zone, we might get fired. That's the scenario for this race. So ultimately, we've got to be selfish, we've got to, defend as hard as we can from Lewis Hamilton and make sure we build up our standing within the team once again. But here we are in practice once again, doing a qualifying run. Pace looks fairly good. P5 at the end of practice 3, and that is quite encouraging because at the start of the weekend, it's always hard to make inroads on the AI. They seem to be very quick when the track has a lower grip level. So to have that much pace early on is very encouraging for the rest of the weekend. I'm looking forward to hopefully another podium or maybe even another win in this series. It's time for qualifying.
Welcome back to Sochi. We're about to be joining the action down in the pit lane as the cars get ready to embark on their qualifying runs.
We don't need to push too hard in this session. We should have the pace to qualify easily.
So for this round in Russia, I've gone for an aggressive tyre strategy. Normally tyre wear isn't really a factor, so I thought I'd put all of my eggs in the qualifying basket because we do need to improve on our qualifying performances. Lewis has just been absolutely gunning it so far this season. So with 3 sets of super soft tyres, that should give us the platform for us to perform well in qualifying. So Q1, we go out at the end of the session, just bank in a time and get us through to the next part of quali. It's a 34.7, 3/10 away from Lewis at the moment, but I still have more pace to find in the next couple of sessions. So we'll see what we can do in qualifying 2 now. Hopefully we can get through once again on just the 1 set of tyres, and that'll give us 2 brand new sets of super soft tyres to utilise in qualifying 3. Banker lap in Q2 looks very good. It's position 3 with a 34.5, was it? Again, still not the best of laps, but that should see us go through to qualifying 3. I just put on the brand new set just in case I needed to do another run. We're sitting in P9 at the moment, kind of on the bubble, but 4/10 away from getting knocked out, so I think we should be safe with about a minute to go. We are into qualifying 3, and it's now raining. I did not anticipate this heading into this part of the weekend. Rain wasn't really on the cards all weekend, but here we are.
We don't have the data for that, I'm afraid.
So this is definitely going to liven things up for us. In the past, my qualifying performances have been quite good in the wet, and just my wet weather pace has been really good in general. We absolutely bossed the field in the previous race in China in the wet, so I'm going to embrace these intermediate conditions at the moment, but we seem to be struggling, locking up massively into that 3rd sector zone. As we come to the end of our first lap, it's not that great. It's 2 seconds away, and I did not feel entirely comfortable on that lap. So we're going to come in again at the end of the session. It looks like the track has dried up a little bit, so this should help our pace and getting a decent time. And unfortunately, wow, that was a scary moment. Oversteered through the fast left-hand. They had to lift off the accelerator pedal there, but I look very uncomfortable even though I'm going much faster in this particular lap. Unfortunately, I just didn't do a 2nd or 3rd lap. I didn't fuel the car up for long enough, and so I'm only going to get 2 runs or 2 laps in this entire session, which is a little bit annoying in a wet weather session. I should have managed this better, but checkered flag is out through the final corner. Improvements of 1.5 seconds sees us in 4th place. I will take that. I think we're ahead of Lewis Hamilton, so that's going to be awesome brownie points for us at Mercedes, and that just makes my future at the team just that little bit more comfortable. But now I can breathe a sigh of relief because, yeah, we've got some points back in the team position, and we're looking pretty good for the race. That's definitely a position we can challenge from. So without further ado, it's time for the race, the Russian Grand Prix.
Good afternoon from Sochi as we prepare to get underway for the Russian Grand Prix.
Okay, you've qualified higher than we expected, so let's try to build on this position throughout the race.
Alright, here we are on the grid of the Russian Grand Prix, starting from 4th place. We're in a good position, and we can potentially take this one if we put ourselves in a good position in this race. But away we go for the formation lap. The race target set by the team is 5th place, so no matter what, I must finish inside the top 5. I just can't allow myself to drop any lower than that, otherwise we could be fired from the team. I've underfueled the car by about 5 laps to give myself an early advantage for the start of this race, but 5 red lights. And away we go for the Russian Grand Prix. It's an absolute steamer off the line. Soared past Kimi Räikkönen, and now we're going to draw alongside perhaps Verstappen and Vettel. But as we go around the outside of Vettel, he squeezes us off the track there, had to lift off the throttle. And that's really cost us some momentum heading into turn 2. There's cars swapping all around us. Ricciardo has broken my front wing, and he's actually spun off for good measure as well. So he is, well, he would be fuming in the cockpit at the moment. The safety car has been deployed as well. What is happening in this Russian Grand Prix? Almost ran into the back of Hülkenberg as well because he instantly braked as soon as the safety car comes out. The AI have a sixth sense. They know when the safety car comes out, so they just go bang, down to 20 miles an hour. It's a safety hazard every time that happens. But we're into the pits. There's no way we're going to stay out on with a broken front wing. We're just going to be like a second, maybe more, a lap slower than the AI, so I had to change. We're going on to the soft compound tyres, and thankfully, because this place is low in terms of tyre deg, we might, and I say might, be able to stretch this to the end on a set of soft compound tyres. Remember back to Nico Rosberg back in 2014? He did the entire race on like a set of mediums, but this is a 50% race. And if we are kind on the tyres with the safety car period as well, we might just make it. If not, we could go on the super softs towards the end. But here's the onboard of us from the start. As you can see here, I tried to go around the outside of Vettel. That gap closed. That allowed both Hülkenberg, Hamilton, then Räikkönen to go away inside. It was just it was an absolute mess into turn 1. And you'll see from the onboard of Ricciardo, he kind of turns in on me as we head towards turn 2. Like, he knows I'm there, turns in, but then the part where he spins out was so much his fault. It was entirely his fault. This part here, you could probably say 50-50 racing incident. Not much I could have done there. But this second phase of the corner here, where Ricciardo is trying to rejoin the track, he's literally off, and he's going full lock towards the right and turning into me. He could have just stayed off the track and just cut a little bit and rejoined safely, but no, he wanted to cut back on me, and that had pretty bad implications for him. Contact for both Räikkönen and the Force India, and then Hamilton and Vettel make contact through turn 2. Hamilton gets the slide on, manages to catch it, loses a bit of momentum, and Verstappen drives off into the distance. So that's all you've missed so far in this safety car period. We're still on lap 2. Magnussen came in on the last lap as well, which was quite weird. Ricciardo has no damage, so he was able to carry on, and he should be, I don't know, halfway up the field. Perez, what the hell was that? He's just made a pit stop on the previous lap. He's overtaken myself, Magnussen, and Grosjean when he probably should have rejoined at the back. But I don't know if that's legal or not. Is that legal? Is he allowed to do that? He overtook us before the pit exit line ended, but we're away again for green flag racing, and it's not long before a yellow is brought out. Their line is gone at the exit of turn 2. Spun out by someone. I didn't get a replay of that, but we carry on, and there's a huge train of cars in front of us. Let me know if you've seen that incident before with Perez. Honestly, if you pit, you should be like last. You can't overtake a bunch of cars on track even though it's yellow flags. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. We're going to carry on to lap 5, and we go up the inside of Valtteri Bottas. These guys just backing each other up so much to the point where it makes it a lot easier for me to slice my way through as we go up the inside of Hulkenberg as well with a double lockup around the outside through turn number, I don't know what turn that is. I'd be kidding you if I knew which corner it was. We're into P14 now as I've run out of editing space. And we're back with the action once again. Lap 6, chasing down Felipe Massa. He goes up the inside of Marcus Ericsson, and we're going to try and follow him through with the advantage. And there we go, into 13th place. Get a bit of a wiggle on with the oversteer on exit, and we've made it through. So we're only a couple of places away now from the points-paying positions. It's crucial for us now to get through these guys quickly, not get held up too much, because the leaders are going to be stopping within the next 2 to 3 laps. And we want to make sure that when they do stop, they emerge behind us, so that we have the option of holding those guys up and just taking the race into our control if need be. Because we still don't know what we're going to do with the pit stop later on in the race. We go around the outside of Massa there, squeezed off a little bit, but there was just enough room for us to get through there. Yellow flags in the middle sector, and this is why. An incident between the Manor and also Marcus Ericsson. Contact caused by the Manor, I believe, was Rio Harrianto, and that was a really aggressive spin there by Felipe Nasr, and he is gone for all money. I don't know if he conceded damage. Did he touch the wall there on the outside? I think he actually got away with this one though. It was a pretty spectacular spin, but he survives and carries on in the Grand Prix. Possibly a penalty heading the way of Rio Harrianto after the race. We'll have to wait and see. Lap 7 now, chasing down Fernando Alonso. A few seconds up the road. These guys on their super soft tyres are now starting to feel the effects of tyre wear. So overtaking at this portion of the race should get a lot easier as we carry on to lap 9. The recommended pit stop window for a lot of the leaders. Here comes my teammate Lewis Hamilton onto the soft compound tyres. We are in fact going to emerge in front of him. So this means we will have the lead of the Grand Prix once everyone makes their stop. So this race could get very tasty indeed. With about 15-20% tyre wear, I think we might be alright to make it to the end without making a stop.
Lewis is behind you. The gap behind us is 1.4 seconds. They're on fresh softs. The time last lap was a 1 minute 36.9.
Okay, so already you can tell that Lewis is very pacey and catching us dramatically. That's the problem with a compromised race. By stopping on the first lap and putting on a set of soft compound tyres, it means we've got tyres that are much older than those around me. So this second half of the race is going to be very, very difficult for us indeed. Lewis is in the slipstream and is right behind me now, so this is going to be awfully tough. Very tough indeed to actually maintain the lead here for this Russian Grand Prix. Here he goes, round the outside, heading into turn 2. I'm going to try and brave it up the inside here and hold on to this position for the effective lead of this race. Remember, I need to beat Lewis in this Grand Prix to at least maintain my good standing within the team. As he goes round the outside here, he should have the more flowing run, and I can't really do anything against him on the older tyres. Lewis takes the effective lead, and he's already broken out about 5/6/10 lead already. So from here, I really don't see any way for us to win this Russian Grand Prix unless there's a safety car. But I think our best measure from here on in is just to stay on the current strategy we're on at the moment, stick with the tyres we've got, and defend second place, prevent any of the drivers behind from having any chance of catching Lewis. I think this is the best way forward, given that the tyre wear isn't as bad as some other tracks. So I think we should be able to make it still on the tyre wear. It's just going to be fairly tricky to defend against drivers on much fresher rubber. We find a gap up the inside of Sebastian Vettel, who recently overtook us with the help of DRS. We run side by side into the third sector, and I think we might just about hold on here. This squabbling is allowing Lewis to get away, and in a way I kind of need that to happen. I need Lewis to win this race to get those constructors points, because Red Bull and Ferrari are close on our heels. Ferrari actually aren't really that close in terms of the constructors championship. As I say that, Vettel gets around the outside of me and moves into effective second place in this Russian Grand Prix. Rio Harrianto is way up there and still hasn't made a stop. So yeah, he's doing really well for himself. Vettel, again, we're battling away. He squeezed me to the outside, and we cut back inside as he left a yawning chasm of a gap, and we took that. We'd been taken out by Verstappen a little bit on the run into the braking zone as myself and Vettel were going side by side. You'll watch here, we both brake at the exact same time, but Verstappen goes into my rear. I probably shouldn't have moved over to the left. I was just doing that to get a better exit versus Vettel, but we carry on to lap 16 now, and here comes Vettel once again. I'm going to go as late as I dare into the third sector. This is just a very popular spot for the AI where they just continue to find track position over me. Again, we go for another defensive lunge on Vettel, and we hold on to effective second place for the moment. Look at this replay. So close to Sebastian Vettel's right rear tyre. Man, that is ridiculously close. That's as close as you want to get to without making contact. But the position on Vettel didn't last long. He got a really nice exit through there and just got me up the inside. So nice move from Vettel. I don't think there's anything I can do now as I run wide. The understeer is just too bad at this stage. Verstappen taken out by Kimi Räikkönen briefly, bit of contact, and Verstappen did very well to keep that car in a straight line. But yeah, like I was saying, Vettel is now gone in this race, and we're going to have to defend the final spot on the podium once Rio Haryanto makes his stop. There goes Räikkönen up the inside. Is there any counter-attacking move to come? I don't think so. We might have to wait for DRS if we can get that on the next start-finish straight. So, no. Didn't get him. Räikkönen pulled away, and then literally a lap or two later, he got a random puncture. So that was very, very lucky to fall in my favour that Räikkönen, who just got in front of me, now has horribly bad luck, and Ferrari's run for the Constructors' title this year has taken another hit. I mean, those guys can't catch a break. Ferrari are like 3rd or 4th in the Constructors and way off Mercedes at this stage. But lap 20, 7 laps to go in this Russian Grand Prix, and Verstappen moves into 3rd place effectively. We try and hang around the outside, and we just hang on. I'm doing literally everything I can with the tyres to look after them at certain points. I'm trying to look after the fuel as well. We were down 4 laps on fuel, trying to make the car more competitive at the start. And unfortunately, with all this defending we're having to do, compensating for the increased tyre wear versus the others, I've had to burn more fuel, and I haven't been able to have the reprieve that I normally would in a regular race. So I'm really having to run with Rich on literally every straight in order to defend from these guys, and it means I might be in the danger zone of running out of fuel in this Grand Prix. But we go for a move up the inside of Max Verstappen. Unfortunately, couldn't pull the car up. The tyres are absolutely screaming at this point, and I just had to give the position up. There's no way he can hold on to that position on the basis of fair racing. So Verstappen goes around my outside. Hulkenberg gets me too, but I try and do the switchback on him. It's kind of worked. It's drawn me alongside. So now I've got to do the second part in this corner, up the inside, and we get back position number 4. You can see Verstappen already has just edged out a huge gap. Hulkenberg soars past me as well, and at this point, at this stage, I'm going to start saving fuel. I'm still 1.25 laps down on fuel with 5 laps to go. The overall goal is still to finish inside the top 5. That's what the team set me, so I don't want to be squabbling over 3rd or 4th place, burning so much fuel, and then get to the last lap and then run out and not even finish in the points. That's silly. So I may as well consolidate 5th place and still hopefully maintain that position within the team. Here comes Rio Haryanto. Recently made his stop onto the super soft tyres, and man, this guy is going to be very hard to defuse in this Grand Prix. He's on much faster tyres. I need to hope that, yes, there's the Force India of Sergio Perez going up his inside. If he gets in front of him, that's going to make my race a lot easier for the remaining laps of this Grand Prix. So hopefully he stays there, and he can kind of defuse the threat that Rio Haryanto is presenting at the moment on those fresh tyres. Lap 26 now, and we go for another lunge up the inside of Perez. Defensive lunge, and we hold on. I'm literally doing everything I can now to maintain this track position. Vettel is out of the Grand Prix too as well, so Ferrari's luck has just been absolutely atrocious in this Grand Prix. They're going to be nowhere in the Constructors, and there it is. Heartbreak for the guys at Maranello and Ferrari. They are out. Both of their cars are out of this Russian Grand Prix, and that makes life slightly easier for me because I still need to finish inside the top 5. If I finish in 6th or worse, I could be out of my drive at Mercedes. I could be out of F1 altogether. So let's just bring this home on the final lap of this Grand Prix. Yellow flags in the first sector. That's definitely going to help me in defending against Perez. He can't overtake for the next 20 seconds, I'd say. There's Vettel off to the left-hand side. We move into position 4, and that only leaves the final DRS straight as the only threat that the AI can throw at me in, you know, trying to take away this 4th place in this race. I can't believe I made it this far on one set of tyres. We stopped at the end of the first lap. Actually, hang on. We are not done with this battle just yet. Perez goes up the inside into the 3rd sector. We should have the inside for the next left-hander. Hang on to the position. Perez is still on my right-hand side. Just defend one more corner, and I think we should have it. There we go. We have 4th place. There's no way he's going to get me now. I can't believe we stretched a set of soft compound tyres the entire race after making contact with Daniel Ricciardo, losing our front wing, being on the back foot all race. We're still going to come away with 4th place and 12 points.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
Mercedes then are on top today.
So there we go. Faith in the team has been restored. It wasn't a race-winning drive by any means, but it was a good recovery. Considering we had to make a pit stop at the end of that first lap. Damage limitation today, and we came away with 12 points. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this race, the Russian Grand Prix. Normally it's a one-stop anyway, so we were very lucky to have this kind of scenario happen at a track like this where we could actually stretch it to the end. If it was any other track, we would have had to have made another stop, and that would have made things much more tricky in holding on to our position. The driver's standings looks very interesting. Daniel Ricciardo leads still, but by only 1 point over myself, and Lewis tied on 2nd place effectively. So it's looking very good in the constructors. We have a 22-point lead over Red Bull Racing. Force India are in 3rd place, and like I said, Ferrari 61 points away. Those guys are supposed to be the benchmark of the field in this Season 4 of F1 2016 Career Mode. The driver position, not as dire as what I originally thought. I forgot about the Drivers' Championship position target, so I got an extra point there. So even if I did finish outside the top 5, I guess it would have been fine. I still would have been in the green, and I still would have stayed with the team. So it's good to kind of get that monkey off my back now, and not have to worry about being fired now, so I can effectively focus on what I'm meant to be doing, going for the championship in both the drivers and the constructors. But that's been this video for today, guys. The Russian Grand Prix. I think the next one is in Spain, and that one is always a tough track going to an F1 2016. It's our final chance to get a win there. I don't think I've done too well there in the past. It's just a really OP track for the AI, so we're going to see some battling. We're going to see a struggle, and it's going to be very interesting. Hopefully you guys can join me for then. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more F1 videos. And until the next one, guys, I'll see you next time.